Scaletrains, -9, HO scale, Norfolk Southern. Let's get started. Alright, let's get a closer look at this thing. We'll start at the front as usual. As you can see, all the highly detailed parts, of course. You know, the separately applied wire grab irons, and the handrails are plastic on the front here. As far as the front goes, man, everything looks good. They got their proprietary coupler, of course. That is metal. But overall, you got a fully detailed and painted cab interior per Scaletrains. I didn't open it up and look, but I will take their word on that. We'll cover lighting later, so we'll come back to this view. So far, and everything looks good up front. The number board here on the engineer's side might be, the numbers are maybe a little bit high, but and it's kind of cutting off the top of the 6 a little bit, but not real noticeable at all. It's not that bad, actually. Just something that I just now noticed. All right, let's move down the side. We'll glance at the front half here. Again, everything nicely detailed, looks great. Scaletrains, they're very known for their high detailing, and again, I mean, it shows up with a lot of this, especially, you know, the trucks and everything. You got a lot of underbody piping. I don't know if I'll try to show some of that back here when we get to the back. These grills, they don't look like they're all the way see-through, all the way open, but they really do have a nice look to them. They have depth. I don't think they go all the way in. And you got your tinted cab windows too, per the prototype. And the walkways, getting close, they are see-through walkways there, but again, pretty nice. Alright, we'll move further back. I lowered the camera angle a little bit so you can see a lot of this underbody piping, and definitely a lot of see-through grill area. Really nicely done. You got your warning labels, and I don't have magnification to check them out, but according to Scaletrains, everything is legible under magnification. So again, I will take their word on that. You do have the e-brake chain right here, plastic molded chain, kind of like they have with their Tier 4 Gevo. But the Tier 4 is like two-part. They have a piece mounted to the body and a piece mounted to the truck. I don't see any piece mounted to the body on this one. I don't know if that's on purpose or if it's missing a part. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more investigation into that, or if any of you guys have these, feel free to comment and let me know. But like I said, the Tier 4 was a two-part piece, and it was just, you know, separated here. But I only have the lower piece there, I see. But other than that, you got your plastic handrails. However durable plastic handrails can be. As we move to the back, again, lots of typical Scaletrains detailing. Your MU hoses, spare knuckle couplers, they look like they're molded on like normal. For most manufacturers that actually provide that look. And again, you know, your grab irons, typical normal stuff. Everything looks good back here. And we get to the other side, it's pretty much, you know, the same thing. I did notice on the other side, I forgot to show you there, there are some spots where some of the yellow paint is chipping off the railings. You could touch that up. And it's not like the first manufacturer that things like that has happened on. Definitely not a deal breaker for me. Let me see. Trying to look over this. Looks like there's a piece broke off the end of this piping that comes out here. Should be a little bit more, that piece like an elbow there that glues on. It looks like that's broke off. I don't know where that's at. And Scaletrains do provide the rotating bearing caps on most of the wheels. Looks like the middle set actually, on the front and the back. And they provide extra ones in the packaging in case you lose some. So that's a fairly nice feature. Again, that was on their Tier 4s also. And move up and you get to see the other side. We do have some lift rings up here, there, and probably a little bit off camera now on either side. You can tell that this is definitely a locomotive that you want to handle gently. I mean, there's a lot of lift rings and little detail parts that, man, you could really break off pretty easy. So definitely be aware of that. And I mean, any of you that's bought these kind of locomotives, you know, the more detailed parts you get on, a little bit more fragile they get. They don't like being handled as well. So we'll look at that. Everything looks good there. Actually, I do got some glue glob there, maybe a glue mark, but nothing extreme. Actually, I do see something. Let me move the camera a little bit so you can see it. Plus, we'll go across the top and let you check that. But these grills here are definitely see-through. As we get ready to go across the top, I did notice I'm missing the bottom step. It's completely not there. So I didn't see anything laying in the box or anything, so I don't know. Guess I'll have to look into that. But I'm definitely missing a bottom step. Check out the top a little bit. They got the PTC antenna array, and there are little lift rings on the sides, and they could easily be broke off too. So be careful of that. I don't know if they're plastic or if they are metal. As you can see on the side, those are the lift rings I was talking about on both sides. There's one right there. Could easily get broken off. And the grill detail on the back here is awesome. I mean, there's no way the camera's going to pick up on it. But that's pretty cool. It really looks good. Alright, I'm going to actually cover the sounds and the lighting kind of at the same time, simply because some of the lighting only operates when it's turned on with the sound. At least that's what I've discovered here. This does come with the ESU Loc Sound version 5.0. It's the newest one out. It's supposed to have a lot of programming capabilities. I haven't messed with any of them yet. And if you have the Loc programmer, it makes it even easier. I don't know how loud this is going to show up on the camera. I haven't adjusted any volume levels or anything like that. You know, I'm just giving it to you as it is out of the box. So I'll try to talk over the sound as much as I can. Alright, I'll start this up. It's function 8, as it usually is right from the factory with ESU. And like again, I didn't mention, but this is the rivet counter version with sound from Scaletrains. So some of this doesn't pertain to somebody that is looking to get a non-sound one, but you'll get an idea anyways. And this also will not, you won't be able to move the locomotive or anything until it goes through the full startup procedure. Basically, you know, just like the prototype. I think you can change that actually in programming if you want to skip that part and just go right to moving. But let's get started. All right, start it up. This locomotive comes with 2 sugar cube speakers in it. I'm not sure how well it shows up on the camera, but I can hear a little bit of distortion. Possibly could just need to be turned down a little bit. It's not overbearing loud actually. It might be on the camera because the camera mic picks up a lot more. But what you noticed when it started up, the number boards are lit. Well, I guess you can't see that. Too bright in here. I'll kill some of the lights here later and show you some. And there's also a walkway light there, down there. It's on the back, and over on the other side there's one. I will get a shot of them with the lights in the room turned down. But they operate when the locomotive is on with sound. It's automatic, so there's no separate function for those. They're either on or off with the locomotive. I don't know if you can change that in programming. I haven't looked that far into it yet, but that's the way it is out of the box. Let me go ahead and dim some of these lights and see if we can't go over some of the lighting features now that it's running. There we go. Now you see the number boards and the walkway lighting down there. And man, is that coming across really bright on the camera. It's not actually that bright. See in the camera you can't even read the numbers. I can't do anything about that. The camera just makes everything brighter and louder. But they are a nice off-white look. They're not a real bright white like that. They're more of a incandescent color look. The number boards especially. This is all LED lighting, and personally I think those lights there look really good. Now I'll turn the headlight on. Now it's a little bit more of a whiter color than the number boards, which is perfectly fine for me. and the ditch lights. And the ditch lights, I mean, I'm okay with them. I mean, they could be maybe a little bit brighter in person, but they pretty much closely resemble the same brightness as the headlight, so that's a good thing. And they do alternate with the horn. It's already set up. And you hear the bell rings with the horn per the prototype. Might as well cover the horn while we're at it. I wish there was a little bit more, I don't know, it's really abrupt when it starts and stops. I wish it was, had a little bit of more reverb in it, or whatever you would call it. There are plenty of different bells and horns you can change to, but this is supposed to come with the correct horn and bell already programmed into it from Scaletrains, depending on which model, road number you got, or road name. And all these locomotives, they have road name and road number specific details to them from Scaletrains, so that's pretty interesting. Gotta like that. Okay, again, there you see the walkway lighting on the back. We'll switch direction. I already have the headlights and ditch lights on, so they'll automatically come on. And they do alternate also, the rears do, so that's pretty awesome. And see in the camera, it looks like the right ditch light there is brighter than the left one. It really isn't. If you get down track level directly looking at it, it's just the way the camera's picking it up. And like I said, the lights are a lot brighter in the video than they really are. And they all have an incandescent color to them. They're not a real bright white. So they look pretty realistic. I'm not going to complain about that. I mean, you may be able to make them brighter. I don't know if they have the adjustment turned all the way up or not. Like I said, I haven't tried programming this yet, so these are all new things that you and I both can try out and see what we come up with. And I'm going to quickly show you the engineer's side walkway lighting. There you go. See it down there, right by the steps. Pretty cool. Okay, as we move on to running this thing a little bit and going through some of the sounds, the instructions say something about number board, walkway, and ground lights. I haven't been able to figure out where any ground lights are on this thing, so I'm not sure what that is. Maybe I just haven't discovered it yet, but I have not seen them. While I'm at this angle, might as well check out some slow speed. That's always really important to me. I like nice, smooth, slow speed. So using the power cab, let's bump that up to speed step 1. There you go. Boy, can't complain about that. This thing's pretty heavy too. Same like their tier 4 was heavy. It ought to pull pretty well. Man, I have no complaints with that. Nice, slow, and smooth speed step 1. That's really nice. Bump it up to 2, 3. We're up to 5. That's pretty nice. Let's check that in reverse. Bump it up. Speed step 1. Same thing in reverse, man. That thing is just creeping. Bump it up a little bit. See if we can hit the next notch. Made it up to speed step 13 there. That thing is smooth. Alright, I'm going to mute this thing with F8, or well, it'll shut it down actually. We'll do that shutdown procedure and then check out the noise of the gear drive. And I think you'll get, yep, you'll get some random spitter sounds for a little while. And as you notice, we don't have any walkway light anymore because the sound is off. The walkway lights and the number boards are only on with the sound. So let's see if this thing's quiet. Speed step 1 and 2, I hear just a slight motor hum. I know it's hard to hear it over that spitter going off there, the air valve. Speed step 1 and 2, I'll try to creep by the camera here. Not sure if the camera's picking that up. It's not bad. Nothing you can't live with, especially if you've owned some Atherns. That's pretty smooth. I mean, very slight motor hum that you can't really complain about. It's no clicking, clacking, grinding. I don't hear any gears making noise like some other manufacturers I've dealt with. Now, I have no complaints with the drive at all. Pretty nice. There is one last thing I want to check as far as the sound and everything is concerned here. This is supposed to have an ESU power pack installed in case you lose a little bit of track power or have some dirty track. You know, it's their version of a keep alive. Ooh, I could listen to that prime mover all day long. Love it. You heard the horn and the bell pretty much. The bell, I think like I said, it's going to be louder on the video, but I think the bell could be a little louder. And the horn. Yeah, maybe not. That's pretty good. And this does have ESU's full throttle feature, so if you're aware of what that is, it's a pretty cool feature to have. But anyways, let's test this power pack, see if we Can't check that out. Now it should run for a little bit as soon as I pick it up. If we got what we got. Alright, here we go. I don't know. I didn't see no power pack working there. Well, either there's not one installed, or I believe in the programming you can adjust a little bit of the delay, or maybe turn it off. I'll have to check into that, but there was definitely no power pack at play in that. As soon as I picked it up, it was done. It should have went for at least a couple seconds. So, I don't know, something to look into. Alright, as I always do with my reviews that I call my take, because this is my take on this. It may not be yours, but if you want my opinion and my review, that's what I do. So I like to wrap it up with my thoughts, final thoughts. Overall, this is pretty good. I mean, I'm not that disappointed. The handrails up front I see are kind of leaning in a little bit. It's plastic handrails. I mean, it happens not just to this one, but other manufacturers. You know, some of the broken pieces or missing piece, the step, which I'll contact Scaletrains and hopefully they can just send me another piece and I'll glue it on. Same with the truck piece. Some of the handrail yellow paint is coming off here and there. I did notice this one back handrail here kind of broke off down here by the rear, but that could just been me from handling it. I mean, the downside is when you got extra detail parts, the chances of you breaking one off or one missing or coming loose is greater. I mean, we as consumers, we keep demanding more realistic and highly detailed locomotives and rolling stock and everything, but that comes at a price. And at some point, you know, I mean, I'll tell you, I got exactly what I expected to get. I expected to open this up and find either a couple detail parts laying in the box or missing completely, and that's exactly what happened. I don't know about the power pack thing. I got to look into that. As you can tell, I'm running down the negatives at first. But as far as, man, I mean, it's a good looking locomotive. You do have a lot of detail on it. It makes me afraid to handle it a lot though, because there's so much you can just easily break off just by handling it. So taking it apart is going to be, you know, a little bit, I don't know, even laying in a foam cradle you could break off some eye bolts or lift rings. And the sound, I don't know, the speakers could be a little bit better. I could hear some distortion in them, but maybe if I turn down the volume a little bit, that'll go away. I love the prime mover sound, but that, you know, that's ESU there. I'm a Loc Sound fan. I love Loc Sound. But overall, I mean, you don't have many options especially if you're a Norfolk Southern guy, for a Dash 9. The Athearn one that came out how many years ago, and it's still out, I think, in their new Roundhouse line or whatever. I don't know for sure, but that one's really not even in the same league as far as anything. And you know, as prototypical modelers, they didn't even get it right for Norfolk Southern with the headlight. And so, I mean, but it's also in a different price category. So you can't really compare it to this one because, you know, there's a big price difference. So, you know, I'm not trying to bash that one too much because you're getting what you pay for. MTH has their version. I actually have two of them that are still brand new in the box that I've never even taken out, so I can't even compare these to the MTH. But I can link a video, or link a video in the description of someone you could check out, Rodimus Prime, Mad Hazard. He usually does comparison videos, and I think he's reviewing this one and maybe comparing it to the MTH. Mine are non-sound versions of the MTH because I don't like their proto sound. And so, I mean, there really wasn't any way for me to compare it other than maybe pulling it out and looking at the visual parts of it. So I didn't even go through that. I'll let that up to somebody else, or let that up to you, or maybe I'll pull one out and check it out later. But anyways, other than that, this is, I mean, you don't have many options in HO scale for Dash 9s. And Scaletrains did it. Now, I mean, it runs nice. Like I said, other than a couple of missing parts, I really don't have any big complaints about it. I mean, some people are pickier than others. You know, I'm actually a pretty picky person, actually. You've probably gathered that from my videos. And like I said, I guess you could maybe look at maybe sound improvements or lighting improvements, but I mean, you'd have with one I got, I'm not that upset with it. I like everything about that, so I don't see any negatives there as far as the lighting and the sound. The drive is good. So with that being said, this is just my take. What's yours?